Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and my husband Chris and I have been eating a meat-only carnivore diet for over 5 years now. Even before we switched to full carnivore diet, we have always been really big into outdoor grilling and cooking. And at this point, I would say simply just because of our lifestyle, the content that I make, and the fact that we live in Arizona, we cook outside 99% of the time. Whenever possible, it saves us the mess and keeps our house from smelling like meat all the time. I have several other videos that walk you through like what we would eat if we were to cook indoors, but in this video, I want to walk you through the variety of outdoor grills and cooking appliances that we have, explain the pros and cons for each one, and explain which one might be most beneficial to you. If you already have one or two of these, what might be the next one that you could add to your collection that would make things versatile and give you the most variety and delicious ways to cook meat outdoors. Before I get started breaking down the pros and the cons of all of these grills, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Element. Element is an important part of our summer routine. It's an electrolyte packet that keeps everybody in my family hydrated when we are spending time in the pool, outdoors grilling, running errands, especially in the Arizona heat when we are all very sweaty. The flavored versions are sweetened with stevia, and sometimes as a treat, I'll put like half a packet of the flavored version in a sparkling water, especially if everybody else is sitting around having cocktails. It makes me feel like I'm having a nice, refreshing summer drink. But typically I throw the unflavored version in this big giant water, and it makes sure that I'm hydrated as I go about my day. Element has a deal for all my subscribers where you can get this free sample pack with any purchase, and it lets you try all 8 of their flavors, and they have a 100% money back guarantee. You can use the link down in the description or go to drinkelement.com/LauraSpath and you can get this free sample pack. So thank you to Element for sponsoring this video. Probably the most common of all outdoor cooking methods is just your standard gas propane grill. The budgets on this can range from a couple $100s all the way up to many, many thousands of dollars. We purchased this is the Weber Genesis 2. We purchased it probably 5 years ago now, and it's still in incredible condition. Chris did a ton of research on like best grill for the money, or under $500, and this is what we found. It has a really nice heavy lid, which is something to be aware of. Some of the cheaper ones, if the lid's not quite as heavy, it's not gonna hold heat as much. But the benefit of a gas grill, and probably where most of you would want to start in purchasing something to cook outside, is the gas grill, because it's the most versatile. You could just throw stuff on and it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes to cook something and then it's done. There is zero prep other than turning it on and letting it heat up for 5 or 10 minutes. And then cleanup is turning it off every few months or once a season. You might need to like take all the grates out, give it a deep clean. And then, like I said, it's been 5 years. We had this professionally cleaned one time by some people in our area, but that's really not necessary. A good quality gas grill is gonna last you a really long time. This is definitely best for any beginner outside, somebody who wants a versatile tool in order to cook a variety of meats. If Chris had to pick one thing in the backyard of all the things that we have to cook on, this would definitely be it, and it's what he uses most often, especially when cooking a variety of meats for us for lunch every single day. Cons to your standard gas grill is depending on the quality, it might not get hot enough to get like an incredible sear on it. And also because you're typically cooking things fairly quickly, you're not gonna get the same level of flavor that you would on a smoker or even on a charcoal grill. But for most people, this is probably where you wanna start in terms of building an outdoor kitchen. A very beloved outdoor cooking tool is a smoker. They can come in a variety of models and styles and for different budgets. You can have the tall stand-up electric one. This is a pellet smoker. You also could do a wood smoker, which would take a lot more care. This is a Traeger. It is nice and easy pellet smoker. It also, based on the size, you're gonna be able to cook a lot and feed a lot of people at once. The biggest pro with this type of cooking is going to be flavor. Having it low and slow with the smoke is gonna infuse so much flavor without adding any kind of sauces or crazy seasonings. You can still have some really amazing flavorful meat using a smoker. Another pro is simply the cleanup. Most of the time, you're just gonna turn it off and walk away, other than having to vacuum it out or clean things out. Every few times you use it, the cleanup and the ease of use is really simple. A couple of cons in getting a smoker is depending on the style and the fancy bells and whistles that comes with it, it can be a very expensive unit to purchase. They do make cheaper models depending on the brand and what you're wanting out of it, but with a smoker, you kind of do get what you pay for, and if you're wanting something that's quality, that's gonna last a long time, you do need to invest upfront in that. Another challenge with the smoker is that it takes a long time. This is not something that you're going to use to cook yourself a quick lunch. It is a low and slow process. Typically briskets are overnight. Pork butts, things like that are 10, 12, 14, 20 hours. Even something like ribs or chicken wings is going to take a couple of hours before it's ready to go. So don't expect this to be something that's incorporated into your quick everyday life unless you're using it for meal prep and then reheating. Also, something else to know about a smoker is that typically they are not going to go high enough heat fast enough in order to get a really good sear or crust on something. You can get a bark if you go low and slow, but if you're putting a steak in here for 45 minutes, it's not going to get a really good crust on the outside unless you go really fancy with one that has a searing plate extra on the side. So this is perfect for things when you want low and slow and a bark, but you're not going to get that nice charred crust on the outside like you would with some of the other things that we're going to mention. Next up, I want to talk about the Auto Wild. This is where things get a little fancier. This is for the bougie steak person or somebody actually who needs something compact, portable. If you have a small outdoor space where you don't have room for all these other big grills, or you're just a couple of people and you want really incredible steaks, this is definitely the way to go. This gives you 1500 degree flames that come from the top. It's propane. If you're in Europe, I believe they have an electric version, but this is gonna give you the best sear of anything that you're gonna see out here. This is like restaurant quality sear. Depending on your needs, the size of it can be a pro. Again, it's nice and compact, so you can take it tailgating or camping. You do need to bring a propane tank with you, but you have a lot of options for taking this to small spaces. The size can be a con simply because it's not gonna cook a ton of meat at the same time. For our family, if we're cooking for all four of us and we're doing more than like a tri-tip or two or a couple of steaks or even searing up a tomahawk after it comes out of the smoker, I really can't fit enough for our whole family in this at the same time. The good thing though is that all of the versions of the auto grills are the same size. So even though this is the light, which is the cheapest version, and it's actually my favorite, it's the same size as their pro version. This is the perfect complement to something like the smoker, where you put your steaks in the smoker for 45 minutes and you throw them on here at the end to give them that nice char. To me, that's like the best bite for bite steak that you're ever gonna find. It's just a lot depending on what else you have and your needs. Okay, let's talk charcoal. I have a love-hate relationship with charcoal. Charcoal is messy. It is very difficult to learn. It can take a very long time. It is not a quick process. Like even just like moving it over here, my hands are disgusting. You can buy a very cheap charcoal grill from Walmart or a lot of grocery stores, just the little metal bottom ones that are pretty cheap. They may only last you like a summer season or two. If you get a very nice charcoal, like this is the Kamado Joe. It is actually the junior one because they are very expensive. Chris surprised me and got me this for my birthday one year. The green egg is another version, but this is the small version because they are so expensive and we wanted something that we could just play around with occasionally, but we didn't want to invest in this big, giant, expensive egg. It's extremely heavy. And while it can be very tricky to learn, man, does it give you some incredible flavor. And that's the benefit. We wanted something that gives you this like wood grilled taste. We can use lump charcoal or wood. You can do some indirect cooking, so you could smoke in this, but again, it's gonna take a lot of time and care to babysit it. The other smoker, you set the temperature that you want and go to sleep, and it's gonna be that same temperature in the morning. This takes a lot of care and playing around with the airflow and the charcoal, and it's a lot of work. This is probably the last thing that I would recommend somebody got, but it's a lot of fun though. If you are a steak connoisseur, you wanna level up your game, like you wanna do something really fun and get this incredible flavor, this is a really fun way to do it. It is not for beginners, that's for sure. Okay, let's talk about what I'm even surprised to admit is my absolute favorite of all the grills and outdoor cooking tools that we own, and that is the flat top. It's the most recent one we've had, which maybe is also why it's my favorite currently. I was hesitant to pull the trigger on buying this for a lot of years, just wondering how much we would actually use it. And it's what I choose to use most often. Pros for this is the fact that it is extremely versatile. Anything that you would cook indoors, you can cook on this outside. It's basically like a giant cast iron skillet. And that's another pro, is that it's just this huge cooking surface. You could buy a smaller version of it, but you can use it for so much stuff. I can put 2 pounds of bacon on this full surface and cook 4 pounds of bacon in about 10 minutes, which is amazing. And it saves so much mess and smell from my kitchen. What we use it for most is fajita style meat, like the skirt steak, flat meat, chopped up chicken, shrimp, bacon, eggs. It also would be really helpful if you have non-carnivores in your family, because you can just do so much with it if you want to get all of your cooking out of your kitchen. I purchased this one on sale at Sam's Club, so it is the Members Mark version, but obviously things like Blackstone are the popular brands of this type of griddle. The 2 cons that I want to mention is just that it's not going to be great for steaks. It's not giving you that grilled flavor. It's just like cooking on a cast iron skillet. So something like a thicker piece of meat, if you want to make something really tender, this is not going to be for that. It also is a little tricky when it comes to cleaning. You have to treat this like you would treat a cast iron skillet in your house, making sure it doesn't rust. You have to season it to begin with. I used avocado oil when I seasoned it the first time, and now we use ghee or tallow whenever we're cooking with it. But it has to have a little extra care when you're cleaning it up at the end. You can't just turn it off and walk away like you can with a regular gas grill. It's been a really fun addition to our backyard kitchen. Overall, the type of outdoor grill that's going to be best for you really depends on your lifestyle and your budget. I hope this video was helpful in you deciding which direction you want to go to or which purchase you might make next. Mention in the comments below what grill you have and what you like to cook on best every day to give people some ideas on what direction they might want to go. If you want to see more videos and see us cooking on all these appliances, make sure you subscribe, and thanks for checking out this video.